Hello. It's video time again. Let's draft. So I think since I finished doing my initial run of 6, I've done Lyonar again and Magmar again. So that would leave us with Songhai and Lyonar as kind of the ones to explore here. I think they changed Songhai quite a lot, didn't they, to try and make it a bit less all in, if I remember correctly. I might be making that up. Or do I just want to play some Lyonar, get mid-rangey? Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Just want to put some big idiots into play. Oh look, idiots absolutely everywhere. Perfect. So we've got a 4/4 airdrop celerity, seems alright. Blazehound seems okay. Suntide Maiden is superb. Golem Vanguard, I think they made the golems more frequent in the patch at the beginning of the month, which should make Golem Vanguard a bit more exciting. Or there's a Grandmaster Zero, which is obviously a sick card, and a Storm Metal Golem, which is kind of, it's fine, but probably it's mostly meh. I think the Suntide Maiden is the most appealing here. This card has a very high ceiling. It's quite cheap. I think both of these cards are better than both of these cards. Well, maybe Blazehound's better than Golem Vanguard, but this has some nice synergies. Like once we have this, picking up random golems, especially the cheaper ones, is pretty nice. So let's give this a go. Silverguard Knight Rook, strong. Lycium Brawler Prismatic Illusionist, not so strong. Rejuvenator High Hand Eclipse. Rejuvenator is good. High Hand is pretty regularly going to be an 8/8 or 9/9 because of how full people's hands usually are. It kind of doesn't have any. It's pretty similar to Hamon Bladeseeker, but I guess it is vulnerable to Dispel, which is a bit of a downside. Eclipse is mostly not that good. I think it's hard to pass up on Silverguard, one of the best 3-drops in the entire game, and Rook, which, honestly, this 6-mana 7/7 Rook is pretty good. I've been impressed with it before. So Saberspine, Emerald Rejuvenator, Chromatic Cold, that's pretty appealing. Sunbloom, Dark Nemesis, Windrunner, also appealing. And some garbage. This is interesting. So we can look for buffs for Saberspine. Chromatic Cold deals with ranged units and buffs and various things. Dispelling and having healing is nice. Whereas I think all three of these cards are like a bit more situational. You know, Sunbloom technically dispels more stuff, but it also can't be used to just kill things. Dark Nemesis is very expensive. It's a good card, but it's very expensive. And Windrunner, I think, is also a strong card, but requires some setup. It's a little difficult to play onto a lot of boards, I've found in practice. So maybe we do just pick the sort of generic utility pack. Let's do that. This way we just have some removal and healing in the pool, and that's always nice. Eclipse, Crystal Cloak of Veil Hunter. So Eclipse is medium, but there's 2 good 2-drops here. Got a Healing Mystic, an excellent 2-drop, and a Bright Moss Golem, which goes well with our Golem Vanguard. Then we've got a True Strike. Is this a Cyclone Mask? Yes, Cyclone Mask and more. I feel like this is the pick. We love a Healing Mystic. These two are both good. I mean, Veil Hunter is obviously very scary, but without consistent access to Raw, buffing its power is not... We have passed the War Surge and a Windrunner already, but I'm really not in the business for that. I think I like this more. Silhouette Tracer, Murkblood Devourer, Sun Elemental. This buffing. Bloodtear, Lycium Brawler, Darkseed, Azure Lion, Aerial Rift. Lion Aerial Rift's pretty good. Rift just cycles. Azure Lion is a premium 2-drop. I do love Murkblood Devourer though, it's very strong. But I think premium 2-drop is worth it. Another Maiden is Skywind Glaives. Rustcrawler Ghost Links, that's pretty good. Ooh, Arclight Sentinel Tempest. Ooh. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting decision. So Arclight Sentinel Tempest is obviously two very high ceiling cards, whereas Rustcrawler, Ghost Lynx, I mean, Rustcrawler does hit sometimes, but not super often. Ghost Lynx drawing a card is kind of as much a liability as it is a strength in 2-draw. Yeah, actually, now that I look at it again, I think the other packs look a lot stronger. I think the second Suntide Maiden adds a bit less. I mean, consistently drawing them is nice, but I'd rather have the utility of the Sentinel and the Tempest for sure. Bone Reaper Jaxi Piercing Mantis. Grail Master Azeroth Lion, sweet. Sunriser Sunstone Templar. So we don't have any healing, do we? We have a Suntide Maiden. Oh no, that's a lie. We have quite a few healing. We have a Rejuvenator, a Healing Mystic, and a Suntide Maiden. So we could theoretically play this. Grail Master is kind of memes, but what is a 7/7 now? I kind of want to try this card out. I guess it's you play it, and then if it doesn't die, you play 2 minions, and it kills your opponent. Doesn't seem terrible, right? On the flip side, we've got a Jaxi, which is a pretty strong card. Bone Reaper, which is superb. And then the Mantis, which is kind of meh. I actually want to try out this Grail Master. I'm curious. Let's try out the Grail Master. Rustcrawler Syzygy. Oh, that's going to be hard to pass up. That card's very good. Sunstone Blue Tip Scorpion. Grandmaster Zir. Can't remember what that card's called, but the 1/4 that gains +2/+0 when stuff is healed, and Rock Pulverizer. This pack, I mean, these are all decent cards, but this, I think Syzygy is really good. It does mean that you need 3 minions in play, though. A bit tricky. But I think when I've seen this in action, it's been super powerful. Let's give it a go. Silverguard Square Arclight Regalia. Purgatos Magnetize. Lasting Judgment, True Strike, Beam Shock. That is too much cheap interaction in one pile, I think. I do like Magnetize. We don't have anything that's really good with it. We need a Divine Bond or some other, some big-ish minions. Like, we don't actually have anything with high power, just these two, really. It can also be used to kill ranged units and stuff. But I think I just want this Regalia, even though it means taking a Silverguard Squire, which is obviously not a great card. We can see about getting some buffs. Like, we've got 2 Azeroth Lions, Saberspine Tiger, Suntide Maiden. We've actually got quite a lot of good cards to buff. Jade Monk, Keeper of the Veil. Keeper, Archon, Sunbloom, Sunriser, Shadow Nova. Yeah. Yeah. Centerbeast, more Grandmaster Zir, Silhouette Tracer. Decimate, Divine Bond, Winterblade. And we did want a Divine Bond. This is a pretty good deck for it. Obviously, Divine Bond's a lot worse since it's nerfed, but even just setting a Suntide Maiden to be a 6/6, trading and healing is really good. I guess that card is a lot worse now. I think Decimate really gets people. Aegis Barrier is not bad. Let's go with this. Phalanx Saw, another Divine Bond. Cannon, Chaos Elemental, that's pretty good. Twilight Sorcerer, Emerald Rejuvenator, Sundrop. And we do have a Sunriser. This is a lot of healing. Twilight Sorcerer can get me Divine Bond, Tempest, Chromatic Cold, Aerial Rift, oh my god, Aerial Rift, Twilight Sorcerer, Shadow Nova. That's kind of good. Obviously it's random, it's not super reliable, but like, that is a late game if we get there. And with all this healing, we might get there. I like the sound of this. This could be a cool kind of control deck. Kaido Assassin, Sundrop Elixir, Lionheart Blessing, Lasting Judgment, Zir Martin. I'll take this, I think. We want the hard removal. We're kind of looking to go late here, so having a bunch of big idiots seems quite strong. One thing we're very much lacking is cheap drops. We need more cheap minions. So this is kind of tempting, but I don't really want a second Sundrop Elixir. First Sword, Sojo, Sunbloom, no. Ironcliff Guardian, Windblade Adept, almost certainly yes. Some other crap, no. Alright, there's a 2-drop on an Ironcliff, perfect. We've got the Bond as well. Blood Tear, second Martyrdom, Arclight Sentinel, second Martyrdom. Some other stuff. Oh yeah, easy. Silverguard, third Arclight Sentinel. Or Windblade Adept, Lionheart Blessing. I don't think I want third Martyrdom here. It's between 2-drop and double premium 3-drop. Cross my fingers, hope to go second a lot. So currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards I can play on turn 1. I don't know how many buckets there are left. This could well be the last one. I really don't want this Lionheart Blessing in my deck though. Screw it. Oh, there's an Azurite Lion. A Lionheart Blessing. Oh God, these are all terrible. Right. Okay. So is there anything I've picked that is just bad or unwanted? How much do I need Tempest? I think this is a good Tempest deck. We're playing a more controlling strategy. This Syzygy is kind of bad, but we need the 2-drop. We need a cheap creature here. I want this. This is my late game. I could cut this pile. Winterblade, Decimate, Bond. Those are very good as well, though. This is kind of my game plan here. I could cut Martyrdom Zir, or even Martyrdom Sentinel. Go down to 2 Arclights. 1 Martyrdom. Because we've got a Decimate as well. We're not super lacking in... Actually, you know what? Maybe I do cut this Divine Bond. So these cards are all kind of situational, right? I do have an Ironcliff Guardian. And a Bright Moss Golem. But I'm also not lacking in damage, per se. Like, I can just kind of chip people down with all these large minions that they have to trade into. And burst from Sunriser. And I'm just trading with my general and healing myself. Like, I can outlast people with that. So it might be that I actually want to go more patient, cut this stuff. Minimize situational cards to try and improve my ability to replace, to fix my mana curve. I like it. Feels really strange, and I have no idea if that's like the correct decision, but I think I like it. So I could cut this pile. The Blessing and the Illusionist are both really weak cards. I guess I do have quite a lot of spells at this point, but I'm not lacking in 3-drops, so I'd like to get rid of some, you know. The main thing is I really need that Azurite Lion. I guess I have enough good 3-drops that, like, skipping turn 1 isn't that bad. And I don't have that many good 4-drops. Yeah, you know what? I think it's fine. So I think we can't go below... I think we need to stick at this many 2-drops. Which is awkward, because I kind of want to cut this Syzygy, but it's fine. We do have some pretty good buff recipients, so I don't mind too much. We're still on 3 Arclights. I could look at cutting one of them. I guess the Tempest would be the most likely cut, which seems a bit awkward. You never know when you'll need a Tempest, you know. I do have 2 Rejuvenators and plenty of other removals, so I could cut this pile. Like, Saberspine Tiger is kind of underwhelming in this deck. Chromatic Cold is mostly not that necessary, because we do have Martyrdom, we have Tempest. We have a ton of Arclight Sentinels for dealing 2 damage to stuff. So we lose some reach doing this, but I don't think we're going to lack for ability to interact at a distance. We lose the Dispel, like if they play Reaper of 9 Moons or something. But other than that, and like Chromatic Colding a big... Like if they play Vorpal Reaver or something, Chromatic Colding that feels bad anyway. On the flip side, does seem a little greedy to have 0 Dispel in a control deck. But I need to make some cuts, right? And I'm not lacking in the heal. Rejuvenator is kind of the least efficient mode of heal. Is that even true? I have, what, 2 Rejuvenators. The Maiden, which can trigger the Sunrises still, but just looking for healing the face here. Healing Mystic, Sundrop. It's not actually that much. You know what, let's keep this pile overall. I've persuaded myself. Could cut this, could cut this. I mean, I kind of want the Suntide Maiden. I could just run with this, have the larger deck. There's nothing really to trim. Other than maybe this, like just to trim down on the pile of 3-drops. Maybe this is a cut. Maybe it's undisciplined to keep the Suntide Maiden. But I really like Suntide Maiden. I think it's just a very strong card. Given that I kept the Chromatic Hold, I could cut this Grandmaster Zir Martyrdom pile. Zir is obviously a really good card though. Let's just run with it. Let's just run with the large deck. I kind of want all these cards. It is a bit foolish to not cut something to increase my 2-drop count, but actually I think there's also a benefit to, like if the games are going to go quite long, I think there is also a benefit to just having a healthy supply of cards. Just having like 2 copies of this in my deck, 2 copies of that in my deck, means I can draw them over the course of a longer game. I've never had a Gauntlet game go as far as people running out of actual cards. I've had some that looked like they were threatening to go that far, but then someone found a win condition. This deck, however, is very slow, I think. So it could go all the way, who knows. So while we're in the queue, I have an idea for some more videos I might make. So I have been keen on and interested in fighting games for years, but I've never really played them to any particular anything you could possibly consider a standard. Like I play fighting games with my wife and with friends sometimes, and you know, I enjoy them on that basis, and I enjoy them intellectually. Like I will happily watch fighting games, like professional fighting game matches or in-depth analyses of those matches, and have a really good time and sort of, you know, be able to follow what's going on more or less. I know some of the words. I know what a cross-up is. Just a Daigo Imahara over here. But I can't really, like, you know, I can only execute the bare minimum of combos. I can more or less consistently do a Hadouken. So what I'm thinking of doing is like trying to learn how to play Street Fighter 6 a bit. My goal is basically like, my goal is more or less I want to be able to win like a ranked match against somebody who isn't obviously super new to the game, or like a bot. I don't know if they have bots on ladder. And I thought, because the information that, like I've just been tinkering with the Street Fighter 6 demo mode a little bit. The game's out in a few days, but there's been a demo for a little while. And I've started to learn a couple things, and it is surprising the details that I've picked up that I wouldn't have expected. I actually like both of these here. They go very well together, so I'll just play this and pass, you know. Cool. Yeah, there's been some surprising things that I've learned already, just in like how you press the buttons, in which order, and things like that I just wouldn't have expected. And it might be kind of nice to record that process on video, I think. I like the idea of documenting that for other people to benefit from. And also because, you know, it might just be an interesting thing to make videos of. This is where I'm very glad I have this third removal spell that can deal with basically anything in my deck. Not today. I should protect this. It is valuable to some extent. So yeah, I think I might make some Street Fighter videos. I'm not going to document like... I was trying to remember if Fountain of Youth was in this version of the game or not. But that's fine. Ugh. Yes, you should attack my minion that heals itself. Well, this sunrise is now looking pretty good. Not amazing, because it doesn't heal everything. What I would ideally like to top deck here is Sundrop Elixir. That's not terrible. Alright. Can I possibly reach... No. It's not, I can't quite clear this. I can put it to 1. Staring at this like, there must be a way. There isn't. So the question is then, do I hit Hank Heart, which will heal itself? Okay, that's the point. I should hit them then. If so, how do I position that? Do I even bother hitting the obelisk with the Suntide Maiden? Like, what I could do is put it over here. Actually, I like this. I'm going to do some slightly weird positioning, I think. I'm going to do this. I moved over slightly arbitrarily, forgetting that this had Zeal as a condition on the healing. I'm glad I didn't mess that up. Okay, well this works out. So my opponent can't easily clear this on board. They need to remove this Azurite line. Obviously Hank Heart is going to get to do its thing, but... Oh, that's gross. But at least they're spending a card on it and some mana. And this is currently unanswered. Which is good news for me. Not that I have any more healing. They also didn't bother moving Hank Heart, which is going to cost them. That's good. Is it even going to cost them? What can I actually... I need to draw something good, I think. I need to draw some healing effect. Or... No, wait, I'm fine. The Suntide Maiden can just attack the obelisk. That makes more sense. Sure. Okay, so... Worst comes to worst, we do Silver Guard plus Arclight. Let's replace Rustcrawler. Can I punch this and then... No, I can't. No Ruck plays this turn. No, let's keep it simple then. We will simply kill this Dank Heart. It heals itself. I forgot about that. How does this interaction work then? So I'm going to punch Hank. He's going to heal himself and then take... Wait, what? Oh, right. No, yes. He took 3, healed 2, took 3. Then I do this. I calculated it correctly. Not gonna lie, that's twice in the turn I've like blundered into making a sick play. Or at least, in the case of the Suntide Maiden, a non-completely stupid play. Right, now we have to start worrying about Dominate Well. From the next turn onwards. Which is particularly scary for Mr. Grandmaster Zir here. That is perfectly fine. Got a Martyrdom in hand, which is kind of nice for triggering Sunriser for extra value. Dioltas. Okie dokie. Every turn I must consider whether Rook is lethal. I'm actually going to replace this Zir because I'm on really high HP and I'm worried about Dominate Well giving my opponent the win when it shouldn't otherwise. So I could martyrdom the 0-10. I think that's a bit sketch. Any healing would have been good. Do I take 6? That seems poor. I think I'll just trade the 2-4 and then play Shadow Nova to start working on the taunt. So I think what we do is we move this up just so I have some way of taking space. I'm going to go here, punch that. This is trading. This comes here. Play this here, I think, so that it's harder for my opponent to come forward. Or if they move the 0-10 to this tile where they can block all my stuff, it kind of absorbs some of their attention. Rail Master, we wanted to try it. So obviously, if I do rely on the creep tiles to kill the 0-5, I can't move, which is obviously a bit awkward. Illusionist is maybe scary. This is the inner Oasis faction, but they don't have mana for it. Okay. I will martyrdom this if I need to. That's fine. Down to 2 cards in hand, but obviously this is 2 draws, so that's going to go up to 4. Oh, they didn't move this. That's a misplay. So I want to see whether I draw Aerial Rift. This Rook is pretty useless. I could just replace him. Bright Moss is also kind of naff here. I need to get rid of this Obelisk, I think. Healing my opponent is a bit of a sad day. I can Arclight one thing. I can do Arclight plus Bright Moss Golem, leaving up something for my opponent. This is going to die. This has to attack it, so let's just do that now. How much do I care about this? I'm a bit worried about losing to Inner Oasis. Like my opponent's snowballing on me. I could set up the Grail Master, but I need this to die. So, let's do. I think I do want to martyrdom this Prismatic, right? I'm actually going to commit hard here. They're only getting 2 health, so I don't really care too much in terms of losing pressure. We're going to redraw, so I'm not too worried about like losing access to minions that can trigger Grail Master either, right? There's plenty more minions in my deck. Now we have more cards in hand than them, more life than them. 3 additional minions in play with better stats than my opponent's minion, so this is looking alright. That is annoying, and will undo some of what I just said. But on the flip side, I can trade into it on board and develop Grail Master for funsies. That's intimidating. Not an unreasonable line to take either. So we could look for a Suntide here. Or Rejuvenator, that works too. So if I martyrdom this, how much damage do I have after martyrdom? 9, 10, 11, 12. So my opponent will be on 3 life. And they'll be provoked, I guess. No, wait, martyrdom also heals them. That's how that works. So I think if I play Rejuvenator Bright Moss Golem instead, that's probably better. So let's trade like so. And so. I would like to box my opponent in, but I might also just trade into the staff. Maybe I should play this Provoke, actually, instead of the Bright Moss. The Bright Moss is more mana efficient, though. That is pretty important. Can they do 8 damage out of hand? Honestly, probably not. Can they do 6 damage out of hand? I don't like the attack either way. We are... Actually, the other thought is I'm playing into Dominate well a little bit here. Whereas the Silver Guard Knight commits less into that. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think my opponent has run out of stuff. Or they have... Oh no, am I dead? Maybe I'm dead. They have 1 card and 2 mana. If it's another Rash's Curse, that is lethal. Oh, never mind. Thank you, Emerald Rejuvenator. One downside of playing Lyonar control, I think, is that you have to decide between removal that can kill things and removal that can avoid triggering your opponent's dying wishes. But otherwise doesn't remove the minion. Like, you have Dispels, or like Repulse a Beast, or Magnetize, but you don't have things like Blood of Air, Hailstone Prison, that other Egg-Morph, that other controlling factions get to benefit from. You only have Destroy. Which does make this playstyle a little bit awkward. Like, I would have obviously loved to be dispelling that Amara Healer, but when you're drafting, if you just pick a bunch of Dispels, your opponent will play anything with stats, and you'll be like, oh, well, all I have is these Ephemeral Shrouds. I've lost the game. Do I keep Tempest, or... I keep this Rustcrawler because it's giving me something to do on 1. I think I'll replace both of these, looking for either a decent 3-drop or removal for Obelisks. Please no Obelisk. Wings of Mechazor, alright. That is annoying, but only mildly. I can actually Saberspine Tiger this. Seems cute. That's also good. If my opponent has the Blood Tear Alchemist, then, you know, I will be sad. But I think preventing them from having... Yeah, sure. Oh, they're attacking me. Greedy. And my friend, you're going to get punished. Oh, baby. That's not bad either. Oh, let's check what they've got. They've got a Spectral Blade and a Metamorphosis. Oh my god, that's terrifying. We do not like those. So what I'm thinking of here is, do I put the Rustcrawler on the tile and the Silver Guard towards the middle? Or even here, actually. Oh, no, that's what I should do. The Rustcrawler here, put the Silver Guard there. That way it makes the Saberspine Tiger a bit harder to attack with, like, rush minions, or if she has a movement ability or something. Sundrop. Maybe a little early. We get the Sunriser. That would be nice. Yeah, Rustcrawler definitely paying off hard here. That is fine. That's an entire card. We've now killed... Oh my goodness. Oh, my opponent is just doing stuff. My opponent has now played 4 cards. And I have profited off every single play they've made. Right, we're not at the dominate will timing yet. So now it seems like a decent time to slam an Ironcliff Guardian. Positioning myself to make use of mana tiles in case I draw something big and expensive like a Grail Master. Although perhaps I personally should get aggressive. No, let's leave myself the tiles. No Divine Bond in the deck, but my opponent doesn't know that. That is a downside of this type of deck, actually. I am very far ahead in terms of resources right now, but because a lot of my minions are small and a lot of my cards are reactive, I don't have a lot of ways to convert this. Like, my opponent's kind of made some inefficient plays early on. I had the punish for the Wildfire Ink. But I don't really have the tools to convert this early. That's pretty good. This early good fortune into a meaningful advantage. Actually, this Ironcliff Guardian makes this Stars Fury a lot worse. Stars Fury is a card I always forget to play around. It's just a blind spot for me. Like, Stars Fury makes me dumb. Like, I always forget it exists because I'm too much like, oh well, I need my positioning. If I can draw a healing effect here, if I can redraw that Sundrop Elixir, that'd be sick. No. Don't mind more provokes though. I think I'm going to do this and just like absolutely surround my opponent. I do need to be a little careful of Bone Swarm, but I'm not too worried about it. I will cash this in to reduce the effectiveness of AoE. And again, I'm just not bothered about the Bone Swarm here. I want this to have more hitting power in case it gets traded into. Damn it! Oh, that would have been so good. The last spell you played. I don't think I've played any spells this game. In fairness, I now have... My opponent is back up to 6 cards, and I have nothing. Despite the fact that they've, like, given me 2-for-1s. Like, the first 3 turns of this game. 2-draw is weird. I mean, yes, I have all this stuff in play, but it's all small. There's an Obelisk. There's another Obelisk. I mean, I can just kill these on board. I can kill one of them on board. Do I use the Martyrdom here? Or even the Chromatic? Let's replace this. That's mediocre. Okay, so these 3 can punch this down. The Azeroth Lion can't reach anything useful unless I move this Silverguard Knight, but I could do that. But I can't kill both of these on board. So I'm going to need to spend a card. That's fine. Let's dispel this one. And then I'm going to Aerial Rift that. We want more of those. Mystic is kind of good. I will sandbag it though, I think. Alright, let's move this to the end. Bring this little guy in. We'll attack like this. Oh wait, I messed up. Hold on. No, I messed up. Damn. Oh wait, no I didn't. It's fine. There was a plan all along. Let's just play this out. Press the advantage I do have. Hey, here we go. Here's a real card. Although, again, if I play this and they dominate with it, I'm going to be very sad. And there's no bond in the deck. So actually, this doesn't do too much here. The Stars Fury, Metamorphosis. I mean, if they... Ooh, that's pretty good. I'm actually not losing. What have I got left? A Rust Crawler and a Silver God Knight. But I think this becomes undispelled when it turns back. Right. How afraid am I of Dominate Will? I mean, the answer is extremely, but like... Oh, that's kind of cute. This is still available, what? I think I'm going to just play it anyway, right? I can at least make it so they can't trivially dominate it. So this should now turn back into an undispelled Silver God. Yeah, nice. Okay, so they've kind of caught up on resources with that. And me drawing a ton of 2-drops. Might be able to get somewhere big with this Rook. What I'd love right now is that Grail Master. Or the Divine Bond I cut from my deck. Would have been so good this game. Another Obelisk. I can kill that. That's fine. It does nothing, basically. I could martyrdom this Obelisk, but I'm trying to win the game. Bit awkward, really. What are my trading options? I can use Zer to kill this. And then punch this with myself and my Silver Guard, just to get rid of it. Or I can punch the opponent and ignore it, to be honest. That might be better. Syzygy. Oh, I think they miscued it. I could honestly heal this, but I don't think Sundrop is worth it. Oh, there's the Grail Master. Okay, we get to do exciting stuff now. That's good. Right, I'm going to play this, I think, here. I'm going to play this here. I can either use the Monotile with it, or I can run away and play Rook. I'm trying to set up a big Rook here. Essentially. Obviously we are killing this. What did they get? Celerity, nice. I can't kill that, so I'll just hit my opponent. And hopefully don't get too punished. It is, again, it's at least difficult for my opponent to play a Dominate Will here. And I am currently representing very lethal because of this. So hopefully we're in a good spot. Fingers crossed. We also have Rook for like a ton of damage. Because I can play it here if I can get out of its way. Yeah, my opponent's super dead, I think. Unless they have some big provoke, but even then I think... Okay. Okay. Right. I don't think this needs to be complicated, but I think I'm going to make it complicated because I want to play Rook. So if I Rook here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 damage. So I will kill this. Move here, kill this. Kill this. Go here. Attack. Attack. Go back. I'm sure there are better ways to kill my opponent in that game. Like, I don't know, attacking them with my 7/7 celerity. But why would I do that when I can play Rook for 6 damage? Okay, I think I built this deck too reactive. Like, I gave my opponent so many turns, and as I drew all those cheap creatures, I was just like actually hemorrhaging cards that they could easily catch up on with that Metamorphosis Bone Swarm play. That said, if I'd played a couple of expensive cards instead, I would have had about the same number of cards in hand anyway, because 2-draw, and then they would have killed my expensive cards instead of just a bunch of random chaff. We're 46 minutes into the video. Hopefully we can... Oh, I just cancelled the queue. Turns out if you press escape, it cancels the queue. I leaned my hand over to move the microphone slightly and pressed escape with my palm. I must be approaching 1,400 hours in various Duelysts, if not more. And I did not know that you could cancel the queue with escape. That honestly surprises me. Alright, we're going to wait for this one. So, what else have I been playing recently? I have been playing Warhammer 40,000 : Bolt Gun. That's the symbol colon. It doesn't take place in your large intestine. Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun is a boomer shooter set in the Warhammer 40k universe, which is kind of a very natural pairing. But I'm not really a boomer shooter kind of person, but I've actually been enjoying Bolt Gun quite a bit because, similar to Doom 2016, it professes to be of the old school, but is in a lot of ways very, very modern, very polished. It's fast-paced, like most boomer shooters. It's quite aggressive, but you're not... I think the character you play as is like a bit less tanky than you are in the modern Doom games, but only because you can't easily heal by just killing enemies. But it has the same kind of like... It borrows a thing from Space Marine, that game Relic made in like 2010, 2012, that I loved, which is that when you... Space Marines, for those uninitiated with Warhammer 40k, are these like genetically modified 8 feet tall superhuman soldiers with, like brainwashed into a sort of zealous fanaticism. And they wear this massive power armor that's like, all metal and ceramic and weighs like half a ton or something. And in Space Marine, when you walk, it shakes the ground with like these heavy thudding footsteps that sound like a piston in a factory. And Bolt Gun does the same thing. Like, your footsteps are heavy, and every time the Space Marine takes a step, there's like a sort of hissing of pneumatics afterwards, as the armor shifts into position as your weight transfers. And then when you sprint, it kind of like the screen shakes and it's a bum 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 sound of your footsteps, which is like, it sounds like a small detail, but it's so important to kind of selling the power fantasy of playing as one of these hulking behemoths of combat. This queue has been going on for a long time. Maybe I should cancel and requeue. I never know if cancelling and requeuing actually helps or if it's just superstition. I think at this point, maybe it is stuck. Yeah, the escape key cancels it. I did it on purpose that time. That is what happened. Today I learned. Unless that's a new feature in Duelyst 2 and they just haven't mentioned it. But yeah, the sort of general core loop of Bolt Gun is you run around shooting demons in the face. You pick up a lot of things. There's ammo, health, grenades are all pickups. which is, I think, the one thing about the game that is quite anachronistic besides its visuals, but like, you know, boomer shooters, they look like people remember Doom, right? They have the pixelated sprites that rotate, but they don't actually look ugly like old games actually do. You know, they have much more vivid color palettes, they run much more smoothly, the controls are very modernized and so on, right? But, you know, so that doesn't really count. It's like saying pixel art is old-fashioned. Like, no, old games have a low resolution. Pixel art is kind of its own medium, right? I'm going to have people correct me on that. Old games did also use pixel art, but it was out of necessity. Whereas nowadays, it is a choice that one can make, and it is approached in a more modern and broad fashion than people used to have access to. As an example, look at Hyperlight Drifter, which has gradients across some of its pixels for a beautiful effect. You wouldn't see that in an old game because you literally couldn't. Anyway, booming-us and shooting-us. Oh, here we go. Vitrivian again. I want to not play around Dominate. Well, let me just slam my big idiots and not worry about whether I'm giving my opponent the game. This hand looks pretty reasonable. I will ship this. Yeah, I'll ship this. Oh. Do I replace this? I actually think so. Ooh. Worth. And his medium. But at least we have an Arclight Sentinel. What have they got kicking? Phoenix Fire. Noted. Ooh, that's vaguely intimidating. We have an Arclight Sentinel though, so big turn incoming, I think. Is there a way that I can do this while protecting my Windblade Adept from trades? So I really want to kill this because this card is quite dangerous. I can kill this easily, but my opponent can hit the Windblade. I mean, we trade and they take more damage than I do, which is kind of alright, but ideally I'd like to maintain board presence. I could potentially ignore this and keep the Windblade where it is, but I think that's counterproductive as well. I can also heal this, but I don't have the mana to Arclight then, so I need some other answer to this Mana Forger. Or I could play a Silver Guard Knight and not worry too much about it. That is kind of interesting. They could Bone Swarm to kill this then. But at least they have to do that. I think we are doing this. I think we are doing this. I think I'll let them take the trade with the Windblade Adept. Like, Bone Swarm punishes it anyway, and they have a Phoenix Fire in their deck, so if I keep it alive, if I go to lengths to keep it alive and then they Phoenix Fire it anyway, especially if they Phoenix Fire it for 1 mana, that's pretty bad for me. This is a nice draw here. Ooh. Okay. Actually, that is pretty irritating for my Regalia plan. This card is actually good now, huh? Grandmaster. I would like to control this mana tile, actually. How about controlling both mana tiles? I'm just going to do this so my opponent can't capitalize too much on the tempo they're getting off this Sandhowler right now. I'm going to attack this. It feels it is very inefficient as a trade, but it just gets me somewhere. I could body block. I guess this is provoked. I could prevent them from attacking my Silver God, actually. Let's do that. This obviously gets the -1, but They can't kill it on board. And it now means they can't kill this on board. So I can kill this with the Regalia next turn, if needed. Or I can, of course, just trade into it. Yep. Yep. Eesh. Oh god, it's a dervish, I forgot. Well, at least we have the onboard kill now. I can use Saberspine Tiger to kill one of these. Or Regalia, actually. Let's see why. Right, go away. I don't want to take 5. What is the best way to do this? If I play the dervish will just die anyway. I think I'd rather have the Regalia up. I don't want to put this. I think here is fine. Although here gives me a bit more command of the center. Let's go with here. Okay, Sentinel's good. So this way they have to remove both the Arclight and this for me to not be able to kill this with the Arclight Sentinel next turn. But of course they have another turn's worth of doing stuff. I am quite behind, I think. Feels a little painful. It's game state. That Sandhallow was brutal. I've been underrating that card. The buffs it's gotten have been really significant. No! Oh god. Okay. I mean, I might just end up drawing Martyrdom or something. That would be good. I feel like Rook is not mega effective here. Nor is this Brightmoss Golem. I want the toy, but it's... Oh, good, okay. Right. This gets me tempo. Please be gone. Oh, I messed up. I should have Arclighted this first and then Martyrdomed. That way the Crossbones effect would be absorbed. As it is, I think I still do it. Is this the right positioning? God knows. I kind of played into Bone Swarm a little bit here, but I don't think that's a huge issue. Shadow Nova, spicy. Okay, so now I'm a little bit stable. I'm well ahead on resources. Except for life, but obviously I have a Regalia, which helps with that. That's big. What about second Martyrdom? Okay. It's got more than 9 toughness. I don't hate it. If it gets Dominate Will, though, I do lose. So I can go here to be a little safer from the 9/9, but I think I'd rather go this way. So I can hit my opponent. Just going maximum attack here. Where's this going? Let's go here to reduce provokes. Not terrible, not terrible. Obviously we have this Nova as well. So we actually have a lot of burst in hand now. This is 3, this is 4. This is probably just 1 here, but... and this is 2. So we've got... It's over a couple turns, but we do have good burst. The Storm Metal, if it hits this, we can attack it with an Arclight and then Shadow Nova to kill it, which is pretty good. And hopefully get some damage in on my opponent at the same time. If everything lives, we have lethal. But I would assume that it's not going to. Stars Fury? What are they doing? Imperial Saboteur. Okay, that's annoying, but not a massive problem. Like, it means that attacking it with the Storm Metal instead of doing other stuff, so that's good. And the Shadow Nova looks nice here as well. Phoenix Fire, yeah, okay, that's good. Very good sign. Still 4 mana though. Oh my god, my opponent has played 6 obelisks this game. I can't quite Shadow Nova Tempest. Do I have lethal? So we have 7 damage on board. And 5 out of hand. That's upsetting. And then they have obelisks afterwards. Well. Is the Nova still worth it? Probably, right? Just looking at this, like, I must have lethal. 7 on board, 5 in hand. So are there any efficient trades I can make? Nah. There's nothing really. Yeah. Okay, so what we're doing then, I think, is we're backing away, killing this, playing the Nova where it will hit the obelisk, and I'm going to body block my opponent, so they may as well attack this. Oh, I ran out of time. Never mind. Reason I'm body blocking my opponent here is because it's a little bit harder for them to get rid of the Arclight Regalia. Although I guess if they came forward and took 4 damage, that would be pretty okay. Yeah, maybe I needn't have done that, because they can obviously just kill it with this. Rook, once again, facing the wrong way. I think I'm going to replace Rook next turn, because the board has definitely gone in an unfavourable direction for him. What am I actually doing next turn, though? It might just be the Saberspine Tempest for some sort of player, but... Top decking Twilight Sorcerer is obviously the dream. That's pretty scary. That's kind of scary. I if only there was a way to make Rook face the other way. So... Tempest kills kind of nothing. I mean, we've got an Arclight Sentinel, so I can actually clear this. It leaves the Flaming on 2 life. Bit awkward. I could kill that with Saberspine as well. I mean, I've got to play this, right? That's too good not to do. Like, that's literally the dream. I think we're just backing off and hoping for second Shadow Nova. Do I even play this Tempest? There's no reason, right? I guess I'll just Sorcerer plus Saber Spine down the Storm Metal Golem so I don't have to worry about it. Or Sorcerer plus Rejuvenator? I kind of want to do this before I play the Tempest, you know? We did it. Yeah. Just drawing one card a turn. Oh geez, Duelyst style. Okay, Sun Drop at least allows me to discard next turn after I shouted over all my opponent's stuff. That is 8 damage. It's 1 off lethal. And Shadowed Over Tempest is 10, so my opponent is dead unless they heal. They don't know for sure that I've got this, right? It can hit Martyrdom, is I think the one other spell I played this game. But it is on them to heal or they die, as it happens. Hey look, the game plan worked. We drafted this weird control deck that Lyonar shouldn't have. This was the stated intent of these cross-class cards. So far, it's mostly just been like, oh, I have some removal that I'm not supposed to have. That's what you usually end up picking up. But I think the idea was to have, you would like get weird build-arounds and fun sort of sideways strategies that you wouldn't otherwise have occur. We're dead. Time Maelstrom. Oh my god, I might be dead. Don't know if that's lethal, but it's a lot. 14, well 12, 13, 14. I think I'm dead. Okay. Maybe not. You know, I've put Time Maelstrom in my deck a bunch of times, well, in this format, and I don't think I've ever actually played it. It's like never comes up like this, you know, this is such a weird, rare game state. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think I played it once. In a situation like this, when my opponent sort of backed away. Kind of where it came up. Yeah, that doesn't heal. That doesn't heal. My opponent is dead. Oh my god, what a game. Oh, that was so scary. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, this video's on the long end, but let's just finish it, why not? Hopefully this game doesn't take too long. So I do need to, I'm in the office tomorrow, I need to get up early. 1 second. Right, I was talking about Bolt Gun earlier. I think I had one more point that I was driving to. Oh yeah, I talked about the pickups being an anachronism. I think the idea is that it's meant to... So just to recap, the levels of Bolt Gun are littered with health pickups, ammo pickups, grenade pickups. And sometimes they drop from enemies, but usually only... You get like minor health and armor pickups from enemies usually. You don't usually get ammo. So it kind of means you're in this weird state of like, you could run out of ammo at any time, and in the middle of long sequences, you actually might. And ditto health. You're not normally under any significant threat because there's always more health around the corner, except when there isn't, and you're like, oh no. But in these sort of long arena fights that the game presents you with, like a couple times a level. Again, the arenas are often full of pickups, but you're just sort of like, I find myself focusing on the pickups almost as much as the enemies, like managing my ammo more than I would want to, I guess. Like in the Doom games, your ammo is normally replenished by glory kills and by chainsawing enemies. So the combat itself is what gets you more ammo, and it's more about like, you can kind of go infinite. I think you might run out of chainsaw fuel eventually. But even then, I think in Doom Eternal it replenishes. The last chainsaw charge replenishes. So there's very few resources you can't generate in combat. So you can kind of go infinite, but you have to. It takes a lot of skill to actually execute that correctly, while under pressure from lots of different enemies, and you're constantly having to you need to match which weapon you're using to which enemy you're using. Vulcan has some of that. Like, enemies have it's kind of elegant actually. Enemies have a strength value, toughness value, which, similar to the actual tabletop game, your weapons have a strength and the enemies have a corresponding toughness. And if your weapon's strength is lower than their toughness, it does reduce damage. So there's some weapons that don't do that much damage sort of by raw numbers, but are the only way to get through the armor of big enemies or heavily armored enemies. Just like in the tabletop game. It's kind of a clean way to do that, but it does put a lot of pressure on the fact that you can run out of ammo, and then have to kill these enemies with very basic attacks, which it works. It just takes a long time. It feels a little bit unsatisfying, and it does feel like the sort of game where it would benefit from at least some of these resources replenishing in a way that wasn't tied to, is there an ammo pickup near me right now? Like the grenades in particular, you have to pick them up, but you only get 2 charges for the frag grenade. So if you press it and then you need it later and you haven't found another one, you don't have it. Which makes me reticent to use it, which is a shame because it's fun and cool. But then when you do have access to them, it's like, oh, I can just press this as much as I want. I feel like it would benefit from just being on a cooldown. Right, we've now been in this queue for 4 minutes and it is getting late. I think I might actually stop the video at this point, and come back for the last game another time. Just so that I have time to get some supper and get a decent amount of sleep. Especially as this deck is so slow. But that was good fun. It is kind of interesting that a control deck of this nature can work. Even against some fairly stiff opposition. That game 3 was very tough. Obviously, we have a win condition. We cut the Divine Bond, but we've got the Shadow Nova, and potentially recurring the Shadow Nova. So I think what I've done is I've gone too patient for my own good to an extent. I'm going to cancel this in case it starts now. That'll be annoying. And we're also it does feel a bit naff drawing the 2-drops later, because a lot of them are very weak after turn 1. But they are kind of a necessary evil in this game. And at least we have the Grail Master to pay them off a little bit. Yeah, kind of a cool deck. I'm interested to see whether this type of strategy is viable in general, or whether this is only working because small sample size. We have a card. We have a cross-faction card that's very strong in this kind of deck. We happen to have some particular card. We have enough removal, which is not a guarantee for sure. If you tried to force this, it wouldn't work this often, right? We have 3 of these, which is so good. But it's not like there are no bad cards in the deck, right? We've got this Golden Vanguard. This Grail Master has been a bit underwhelming, I will admit. It's fun though, isn't it? And I keep being on the opponent's side of the map and then being behind me, so the Rook is bad. But that's Rook for you. I think the card just takes some work to set up, Yeah, I enjoyed this though. It was an interesting way to take a draft deck. So I will try and record the 4th game as a separate video. So I'll see you then. And let me know if you're interested in watching the Street Fighter 6 stuff I mentioned. I'll probably make them anyway, and then if no one watches them, no one watches them. But, if people are keen on seeing that sort of thing, or interested in getting into the game themselves and could use a friendly, a fellow novice perspective to help them get a foothold, then you know, that's extra motivation. So hit me up. Cheers, everyone. See you around.